In this video, we're going to continue the series of looking at whether real estate investing is better than online business, which one you should tackle, which one you should do, which one might make you the most money. If you're looking for a way to make extra money from home, this is a topic that most people have actually looked into. So this is part 2 of that series. In a previous video, I tackled the real estate versus online. I gave you the downside of real estate. In this video, I'm going to give you the upside of real estate. So if you're looking for a way to make money from home, and you've entertained the thought of whether you should invest in real estate or do an online business, or if you're just looking to make money from home, period, this video might be helpful in determining how you could actually make some money, whether it be real estate or with an online business. So in this video, we're going to evaluate real estate for profits. Particularly, we're going to look at what real estate looks like on the upside, and for that, we're going to be looking strictly at cash flow. In real estate, there's a few ways you can make money for real estate, and one of them involves the idea that you could use real estate to save on your taxes. So if you're saving money on your taxes, you're definitely keeping more money. That means you're making money. But in this video, if you're looking to make money from home, you definitely want the cash coming in so you can use that money to pay your bills. And so that's why we're going to be looking at making cash flow with real estate. So if you're looking to make cash flow in real estate, that usually involves renting out a place, right? Either selling it, renting it, doing wholesale deals, which involves you making a profit in the middle while you pass the profits. You actually pass the house on to someone else. You just make a profit in the sale of the house, moving between a buyer and another seller. So in this episode of looking at real estate versus online business, we're actually going to be looking at real estate in the sense that you'll be buying a house and actually renting it out. So there's different business models you could use in real estate, right? You could do Airbnb kind of model, some different models, but this we're going to look at a traditional way. You buy a house, rent it out, and keep it for long-term cash flow. So you could actually use that money coming in every month to pay your bills. So the basic premise is you're going to find a house, you're going to rent it out, and minus your expenses, and what's left over is going to be considered your profits for you to spend and take care of your expenditures every month. So in order to do that, you're going to have to set yourself a price point of what you want to buy. So you look at some details. So to do that, I'm going to create a scenario here where we're going to say the sales price is $50,000. Now you could determine at whatever price range you want to buy a house, but I found that a lower sales price, right? If the sales price is lower, that means you can actually afford it, and if the rent is usually high, then you can make more profits on it. What I typically see some people wanting to do is buy, say, like a $200,000 house, right? And the rent is based on a $200,000 house versus a $100,000 house. You can't charge any more rent for a $200,000 house that you could do for a $100,000 house. And so you end up losing money in terms of the cash flow. You might make money in terms of, saving on your taxes because of depreciation and all those other things that come into play. But if you're looking for cash flow, usually if you have a lower sales price and the rent is in line with all the other houses you could rent for, you'll definitely be making a profit. So let me show you here. So my sales price that I like to buy houses is usually in this range, $50,000 range. Somewhere in there, either a little bit above or a little bit below, but $50,000 is like, a decent spot. You could get a decent house, and the rent you could charge for a $50,000 house is about the same as you could charge for, say, an $80,000 house. So it's like, why would I buy an $80,000 house if I could charge the same amount of rent for an $80,000 house that I could charge a $50,000 house? So you determine the price point, but 50 is a good number. So $50,000, usually the rent for a $50,000 house you could charge up from about $890 up to about $1,200 in my area. That's usually what the market could bear. It could differ if you get a single family house. With a single family house, you could charge up to $1,200, but that's on the very high end. You might get more of the $900 to about $1,000 range. But if you get a duplex, then you could probably get $1,200. You could charge $600 for the top level, $600 for the bottom level. That's $1,200, or even $650. Then you could increase your profit margin up to $1,300. And then, of course, you factor in your expenses, you get your profits, and then that's how you determine if you're making money. So let's go look at a scenario. So you try and find a house. Now, I usually use Coldwell Banker. I love that site because it's an easy site to use, but you can use any site to do searches. So in my area, I actually brought up the Coldwell Banker, and you could see single family houses, condos, single family, those are single family, land, and let's see here, a single family. So these are all single family houses, and this one is multi. So this one is a multi-unit. Let's look at that one. So with this multi-unit, it's going for $48,000. You could check it out there. You could see pictures of it. So you check it out to see if it looks good. It could be rented. Check out the area, see how much it could be rented for. So it looks pretty decent in terms of, you know what, it doesn't seem like it's in major disrepair, like it needs anything, at least from this level, anything major, right? So it's like, okay, maintenance might not be bad with this. So there's 2 units here, so this could easily go for $600 per unit or $650. The next thing you probably want to check out is what's the taxes on it, to kind of get a sense for how much that looks like. So the current taxes is only $600. So this looks like a sweet deal if everything pans out right. If the area looks pretty decent, the maintenance is good. So for $48,000, it's looking good. So let's say you're able to get this house for $48,000. And let's say they even give you a deal and it's $47,000. Fantastic. You're going, okay, let's run the numbers. So I'm going to run the numbers here at $48,000. Let's look at the taxes. So if taxes in this case was $600. So $600 divided by 12, that's $50 a month. So let's drop this down to $50. So this is all the numbers here. When we drop this down to $50, that's 48. So $50 here. The insurance on something like this is usually about $300. So per month is $25. Maintenance usually is a good idea to include maintenance, even if it doesn't look like it, because things always come up. So just to have yourself a buffer. Let's say it's $1,000 for the maintenance. It's about $84 a month you pay. And for water, if in a duplex, you would definitely pay for the water unless you have some arrangement with the tenants to pay the water bill. So if you do, let's say you make arrangement with the tenants, they're both splitting the water bill, so it costs you nothing. Okay, that's something you don't have to pay for. And if you decide to not manage the property yourself, like not collect the rents, not get the phone calls at night, you want someone else to do that, then it's usually a 10% charge of whatever they collect in management fees. So that's usually, on this kind of property, say $1,200 you make for rent, you'll pay about $120 a month out of that money for management fees. And if you have a mortgage on it, so let's say, you know what, you have the $47,000 cash to plunk down on it, that means you would not have a mortgage. So that one you wouldn't have. But if you do have a mortgage, you know, if you decide, okay, let's see how much it would cost to get a mortgage on it, you could go to like a mortgage calculator and you could plug that into, you know, Google search for any mortgage calculator and just plug in, you know, what the amount of the mortgage is you're thinking of getting and play with the interest rate. You know, if you have decent credit and the interest rate is 4%, I mean, that's how much you'd pay for mortgage payment every month. If your credit is not so good and maybe say the interest rate goes up to 6%, then your mortgage would be $282. So you play with it, and I mean, it's not a big difference between that 4 and 6 because of the price point here. So $244 that was, so at 4%. So let's say you have good credit, the mortgage you pay for that is $224. Then when you plug it in here, then you can add up all your expenses, and based on all these numbers, and you could definitely check my math because I did it before, but we've changed some numbers, came up to about $448. So at $448 for your expenses, right? We'll go back here That's $448 for your expenses. So we'll knock this down to $448. And so your profits actually increased by about $25. So that's $27. So let's say your profits is $427 on a $50,000 house, which and actually your profits would be a lot higher, because if you got it at $47,000, your expenses are $448. Let's go see what that is. $1,200 minus $448 equals about $752. So $752. So that would be an incredible amount of profits if you were able to get that single family house for that price point. If everything matches up, so it makes sense to get that property and you got it sold to you for that price, that's a nice profit of $752. Now, if you were pay the water bill, that's probably an extra $100 a month you'd add to it. So decrease extra $100 bucks. That would be $600 and something in profits, which is still not bad, right? Even if you paid the water bill. So you can see, you can play around with these numbers. If the taxes are a little bit higher and you paid a little bit more, you can see how much profits you would make. So let's say your profit is, $752. So let's just put $752 times 10. That would be 7,520. So you can see why people love real estate, right? With one property, you can't do a whole lot. But if you have multiple properties making a good profit amount, when you add it all up, it really adds up to be a big number. So just 10 properties at $752. If you could find the ideal properties that would give you that kind of profit margin, you can make $7,000 a month in passive residual income. Here's the issue though. At 10 properties, that means you have to go buy them at a certain amount of price, right? So that means you either have to go find the financing to finance 10 different houses, right? Or you have to have the cash that will allow you to pay for 10 different houses, that will allow you to generate that kind of income. Now, most people who are looking to make money online do not have $50,000 or $47,000 or any amount less than that, right, to buy a property and then fix it up. Because you can imagine, if you're buying a property for a very cheap amount, chances are there's something wrong with it that you have to fix in order to get it back up to shape, to get it to re-rented. So that's usually the issue with real estate, not having the money to come in and buy these properties so you can make money from them. The other thing is, if you have the credit, right, or not have the credit. If you don't have the credit, it becomes a little tougher, because then the banks won't lend any money to you. So you definitely have to find some creative options of how to come up with $50,000 or get it somehow to go buy this house. If you do have decent credit, you're able to go out and finance these houses, finance whatever you're thinking of buying, so you could definitely buy the house and make the profit. Problem usually comes into as well, when you're financing the house, you need a down payment, and as an investor, typically the banks are going to charge you about 25% of the sale price of the house. So if you were to come in, the banks would say you have to put 25% down of your own money, wherever you want to find it. So let's say on $50,000 times 0.25, that's about $12,000 you'd have to put down on the house before the bank lends you the rest of the money in order to buy this house. So that's usually where the challenges come in to make money in real estate. It's actually finding the money to actually do these things. Is it possible? Absolutely, it is possible. But of course, you could imagine it does take time to go find these monies, to find the house, for everything to happen in order to get this happen. Now, that's why I do real estate in addition to what I do. And in the description box, I'm going to show you a business that will cost $100 one time and allows you to make some significant amount of money. It doesn't require any inventory, talking to people, selling things. It's a simple online business that people can get involved with that has a potential to be like a real estate business where it generates you passive residual income. If you've ever looked at real estate with the idea that you can make some serious money, I highly suggest that you check out the description box, because this business rivals an actually a real estate business. The description box have the link, will have all the information.